anybody out there? Can you hear me? Welcome to The 100 TV. Real conversations with real people.
All of this has been an evolution. Right? Nothing about this journey is how I thought it was going to be. You know, shout out to the Free Game Society, man. Shout out to everybody, Team 100. Shout out to everybody that just keeps rocking, that understands what's going on here. We're just trying to make changes without compromising the truth, right? We're not up here just for the views. We're here for the impact. But you know, you be the judge, man. Lock in with us. We can agree to disagree, you know. But regardless, we're gonna keep it 100. You can't keep it 100 with anybody unless you keep it 100 with yourself, man. Let's be clear. You gotta come correct, man. They'll pick you apart nowadays, man. People doing homework, you know what I'm talking about? So when we talk, we talking from a perspective of experience. We talking through the life journey, our ups and downs. You know, we giving it to you that way, right? But who are we though, man? We just like y'all. You ready? All right, well, come on in. We going in. The 100 TV. Y'all better tap in, man. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the notification buzzer, all that stuff, man. So when we live, y'all live, man. Become a part of the conversation, man. It's not my platform, it's our platform. 100. We just let that ride, man.
Peace to the planet Earth, man. We are back at it. It is officially 2023. We at the top of the top. I'm feeling good. Freddie, how you feeling, man?
Oh, man, I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Peace to everybody. Peace and love, yo.
Most definitely, man. Peace,
2023.
That's it, man.
2023.
Peace, positive vibes, prosperity, progress, man. All peace.
Purpose, potential, passion,
protection,
perseverance.
Hey, for real, man, it's good. It's good to see 2023, man. I think if you're watching this and you understand what I'm saying, then you're grown, or at least you understand English. Therefore, you lived through 2020 and 2021 and 2022 as well. So we're still here. We're always remembering, you know, those that are lost, though, at the same time, man. I seen something today.
What's that?
It was a remembrance about those that were lost. Right. And it reminded me, for me anyways, I think I got so caught up in the hustle or working or whatever it is every day that I kind of didn't reflect on what just happened in the last couple of years, like the numbers and like what was really going on, you know. So I definitely wanted to just shine light on that, because that's part of the reason why a lot of people are hurting. You know, there's a lot of holidays now when people are looking up and they lost loved ones, etc. You know,
yeah, I think what exacerbates that a little bit also is a lot of people did not have the opportunity to grieve properly. I know a few of my dudes, they died in isolation, you know, when COVID was at its height, where family members couldn't even go visit them. People couldn't even have funerals, especially in New York. Yeah. So, you know, that definitely compounds it. So, you know, again, shout out to everybody who has lost a loved one, regardless to the manner or the cause. Loss is loss.
Yeah, loss is loss. But let's pivot, man, because loss is loss. But one thing we can all agree on, again, we're here, 2023. Moving forward and remembering, but not into the point where it keeps you held up. That's what I've been talking to a lot of people about. That's what some people have been talking to me about. Yesterday, had a great opportunity. Shout out to Atlanta News First and Miss Bucksy, all that Sawyer Bucksy. CBS 46. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to just everybody. I don't even care who you are, whether it's somebody just watches, comments, whatever it is. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I think everybody's starting to get it. We're trying to help each other. There's a lot of people hurting, as we just talked about on top of the hour. There's not a lot of healing that needs to happen, but there's a lot of things that need to be addressed. So that's why we do some of the things that we do. So salute to you guys. We're able to tell a little bit of the story on the news, get some more eyes on it, and push forward the conversation, man. So we're grateful for that.
Son, man, you kind of minimizing this thing, man. It was really a momentous occasion and event, man. I mean, son, you were interviewed, your wife, the students, the school, on the news, man. Yeah. And eventually, it's going to break past, just the Atlanta locale, and that's going to be a nationally viewed thing. So, man, of course, we praise God, man, but we're saluting y'all, man. That is a big, big, big deal, and we're not going to minimize that.
Well, I appreciate that, man. You know how I am.
Indeed.
I'm blue collar Midwest, man. I'm a Chicago guy. You're from Des Moines, so
listen. Here we go with the Chicago stuff. The guy from Piscataway,
Wisconsin, is in the building. They call me Christopher Costataway, by the way.
Chris Costanza from Seinfeld.
Yesterday was dope too. I want to say what I'm learning about this media thing, and this is for anybody out there that's gonna get into it. I encourage you, whenever you get a chance to be heard in a situation like that, just put it to the board. Say everything you need to say, because you don't know what they're gonna use. They did a great job, but they shot 45 minutes of footage and put it in 2 minutes, and they did a wonderful job in there. I could never figure that out, but that's just a word of the wise, man. When you get an opportunity, and I am grateful. I'm definitely humbled. I went through my team. We went through a rough 2022, and I think yesterday was the first time all year where I enjoyed the moment. Because often I'm already, as everybody's celebrating, because even when they walked in, they were excited, and I was happy they were excited, but I was thinking about attendance. Then I'm in the office responding to texts, but I was glad they were in the moment, but I kind of detached myself, which I do. But when I seen and I never watch anything that I do. But my one student, Keandra, man, shout out to her. She Mr. Chris, you make me promise you're gonna watch it, and I watched it. And I will say that the part, and it was her saying it, where she was like, before she came there, she didn't have dreams, and I was like, hey, it was like it just whatever the frustration was, I was like, that's what it's about right there. If you're gonna suffer through something, if you're gonna fight through something, if you're gonna do something for a cause, man, let it be a noble one, let it be a righteous one. And
I think there's an underestimated factor in that is that when we go through, man, people are observing. We've got spectators to our trials, and it's a fantastic way for people to see integrity and character in motion. When you're going through and you're not compromising, when you're going through and you're still serving, when you're going through and you're still patient, when you're going through and you still got time for other people, when you need some more time to handle your own stuff. Man. So it's a fantastic testament, man, to the resolve it takes to go through and to get through better, and be a better individual as a result.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And again, I'm humbled. I'm grateful, and hey, I'm just along for the ride because I'm not calling the plays, So that's where I'm at with it, man. Let's have a great 2023. Shout out to We God, my brother Jefferson Ellie's nonprofit, man. And shout out again to Atlanta News First, man. They took his book. They were very interested in his story. So yeah, we got some. I'm encouraged there too. shout out to Hood Therapy. She'll be taking over next week, where she dives into my mind, because we're going to talk about the trauma that I faced dealing with solitary confinement and, man, my time on maximum securities and all that stuff. And she's going to pull some things out that I want you guys to hear. So we're going into that next week. What else I got to shout out? We got shout out to Real and Explicit with our first beauty and content creation day happening February 11th. We're going in a lot of partnerships going on right now, man. Shout out to your girl MJ. Hey, I'm just gonna say, looking forward to our call on Tuesday. Spoiler alert. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to KT, who's running around Atlanta a million miles a second, man, and still being the connector. Shout out to my brothers clothing line Status. So, you know,
Status Plus. I got some gear coming to you and KT too.
Hey, I put it on, you know. But I want to shift into the topic though, because what I found, I didn't find it odd. I always knew it, and that's one of the battles, I guess, in my mind that I face every day. I'm very transparent in social media. I don't give a damn what people think, but I do it with, it's like organized chaos. When I was first doing it, I know people were like, "Oh man, he's going crazy." Like, and I might have been going, but there was a purpose behind it, because I knew that whether I had felt that now, whether I had felt that 10 years ago, whether it was based off a conversation I had with somebody that I cared for, I knew that there was a bunch of other people that were going through those same exact thoughts and feelings, or were dealing with loved ones. It started with prison. It evolved into mental health naturally, because the two kind of coincide. When you look at the statistics dealing with recidivism and just the incarcerated population as a whole. And we do that. And I say we because you guys are with me. There is adversity, because for as many times we celebrate, there's definitely, you know, some people that want to troll and do those things of that nature. But I'm grateful for moments like yesterday, because it gives validity. And I think it's important, man. If anybody's watching this for 2023, I want to encourage each and every one of you to break the stereotype. I want you to confuse the enemy. I want you to become unpredictable. If I can encourage you to do one more thing before I let my brother chime in, is start making the difficult choices and be the abnormal person in the room. If you want to get somewhere nobody else has been, you got to be different, and you got to make different decisions than everybody else. And I'm gonna let my brother chime in real quick, because I love to hear what you got to say about that, man.
About stereotypes.
Yeah, because I know when we came in, I'm thinking, and I was thinking about it today, because even back when we were locked up, senior elders, right? And for anybody that hasn't watched the show, they created these positions where basically me and Fred we could facilitate programs, create programs. We were the bridge between us, the incarcerated population at that time, and the staff. These positions should not be respected in penitentiary. And it wasn't just us, but in the midst of this group of us, they gave me and Fred 2 higher positions than everybody else. And in any other penitentiary, I don't know, it could have worked. I think with the right people, it could work anywhere, but nonetheless, it wasn't supposed to work. And it was very successful, because we were able to connect the dots with a lot of people. A lot of the guys that still tune in today and support and share and all of that, man, that drive and push the content, a lot of these guys that we were connected to. And there were plenty of moments where we won, where, man, we won some victories behind
big wins. Big wins.
But the adversity was there, because for as much, and I can only speak for me and Freddie right here. I don't speak for many people, but I'll speak for my circle. Everything we did was with righteous intent. Everything. But there was.
If I could jump in real quick, I believe that's where the respect was earned at.
Mm-hmm.
Is that even the most adversarial dude could not deny the fact that we were doing this for the people. No matter what we did, it was for the people. No matter what we did, it was to try to connect brothers to resources, to try to give brothers a better advantage when transitioning back into society. Forget even waiting that long to try to make things better for you and us right here where we are right now. You know, everybody's not going home in 60 days. You got some cats that still got 60 months, you know, and longer. So, again, you know, it said that an honest man is respected amongst all parties. And I think cats really saw, hey, yo, these two dudes right here, they really giving us their all.
And we had to respect the majority. But then you had the ones that stereotyped us and believed that we move with unrighteous intention, that we were trying to manipulate the system, that we were trying to, they just didn't get that part. And I know the way I looked at it was probably way different than how you looked at it. But what were your thoughts? Because I don't know if I ever really asked you about, because we had plenty of time. Well, I had times where I got moved out of the whole dorm because they thought I had too much influence over staff and stuff like that. And I knew, and it was just crazy to me. But what were
you were gone when the administration changed. And the incoming administration viewed me just as that. You've got way too much influence.
Because they didn't
understand it. Who are you? You know, who are you to be, you know? And so, you know, everything that I was doing at that time got shut down. But stereotypes, you know, we were stereotyped because, well, for one, stereotypes are a byproduct of not being able. I don't even want to say that. You know why? Because I stereotype people.
Mm-hmm. I do sometimes.
I think the pivot point, though, is can you interact with a person beyond the stereotype?
To see if
can you give them an opportunity to not be what you perceive?
Right.
And that's the key and crucial thing with, you know, stereotypes. And for us, you know, there were a lot of dudes who didn't give us the opportunity, but there were even more who did, who came up later and said, Joe, I had y'all wrong, man. You know, I thought y'all was some toe tapping, you know, bootlicking dudes, and y'all cats is really out here fighting for the people. So there's always going to be stereotypes. It's something we can't get around, we can't get through, we can't evade it, we can't avoid. But there's two sides. One, am I going to be the individual from a personal point who breaks the stereotype when it's a negative one? And two, am I going to be the person to give a cat an opportunity to break the negative stereotype and show me that he's more?
Yeah. Honestly, yesterday I almost fell victim. I almost became fearful of the stereotype because I think right before it was my time to get interviewed, though everybody else on the face of the planet Earth was like, it's okay, the cat's been out the bag. For some reason, I didn't want to do at the last second. I didn't want to do from prison to principal, even though everybody supported. I was like, man, I don't know if this is the right move. And then April, my wife, love her to death, so transparent, just like me. I didn't know that she had told. I had got caught up in this where I just wanted the students to know I had got locked up. I didn't know she went to morning meetup and told the students I had been locked up for 17 years. So then I was like, but man, I was feeding into it subconsciously, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, indirectly, to the point where they didn't care. They didn't care. But here I am, and this is in a different way how you can fall victim to it. I'm over here. I'm like, man, I don't want to do this. I'm having second thoughts. So I had to shake it off. You know what I'm saying? And get it done. And I'm glad I did, because what happened is now, you know, I can be transparent. There's nothing that the cat's out the bag, everything. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just like, I just feel like I can move even more freer now. When the whole time I probably could have.
And it's going to work in your benefit, man. Yeah. It's definitely going to work in your benefit. And I believe the reason for it is because of stereotypes. You know, if the stereotype
works against you, it work for you.
You know what I'm saying? The stereotype of a dude who's done 17 years, even though we know this is not the case always, is some either hardened, incorrigible cat, or it's some big word spouting, grammatically incorrect sentence having. So, but the stereotype is never one of positivity, and it's never one of progress when it comes to formerly incarcerated. So, brother, you know what you're doing is going to be far more impactful, again, because it completely defies the stereotype and redefines the face of the formerly incarcerated.
Right. Yeah, man. I'm in it now. Hey, we having fun now.
It's a party. It's a party now.
Yeah, we warmed the car up. We rolling down the road now.
Good morning.
Yeah, we only at about 10 miles per hour. We ain't.
Hey, it's motion. Slow motion is still motion, man.
man. It's funny because the motion will come when it's least expected. But I think you said it, and I've been saying it to people, man. A lot of us been planting seeds, man. Man, a lot of us have been putting in work, man. And I want to say this too. It really is anything you want in life. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel this way now. I really feel this way. You can literally do anything you want to. Like literally. It just takes time. It might take you 2 years, it might take you 20. It's just up to you to figure out if you're gonna be consistent and exercise discipline, because boy, it gets hard. But I just feel like, man, I feel like anybody can do anything, man, if they just stick to it.
Just stick to it and have a plan. And you know, you just said, you know, it gets hard. But I'm going to speak for me, which is probably speaking for a lot of other people. I did more for less in the past.
Yeah.
I've worked harder at something and received less.
Yeah.
Matter of fact.
Yeah, no question.
Some of it's got me time, you know. So now how hard things are in comparison, it pales almost. Because you know the rewards are far richer, and now there's no snares now. You know, I don't have to worry about getting knocked off. I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm following the Lord, man. I'm living righteously as I best know how, and I'm able at this point in time. I'm still evolving, you know. But I've done more for less.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I've been a garbage man 3 times since I've been home. I'll do whatever, man. When it comes, like, as long as it's a positive move or righteous move makes sense, like I'm with it. Like, I'm just with it, man. It's because I just know that sometimes it's not even about what you're doing. Because even like as a garbage man, I met some dope people, network, like it's just crazy how people connect, man.
So it's very seldom about what we're doing. It's all about, I think it's more about who we are. It's less about what we're doing and more about who we're being.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. I've done almost anything, man. You know, it's hard for me to sit in this house and get a call for work and turn it down because I say I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So
I've done almost everything and will do almost anything.
Yeah.
But it's a character building thing, man, and it's humbling. This is for anybody, yo. You know, one way to stay humble, man, is sometimes not to view yourself above certain tasks.
Yeah, no question. One thing about me with the business, I might be the owner, but guess what? If a sink get loose in the wall, I'm down there on the floor, shirt wet, drywall in my face. I'm back there in the toilet. Miss April back there cleaning one. I'm cleaning. Man, you get it in. And I think when people see you, you know, operating on any level, all levels, man, it's easier to get people to rock with you, man. Because
they can relate to you better when they see you doing menial average tasks, man.
Yeah,
they relate to you better.
I'm trying to tell you, man. He said, a manager is not better than the lowest person on their crew. I'm going to hop in the dish pit. You better bet it. Because leadership, man, the man calls Surratt. Leadership, which he knows because he's put it, leadership you serve. Leadership that you serve the people around you. When I walk in, I just ask her, you good? You need anything? You good? Good. Check on everybody. And Everybody's good and I chill. They need something. Yesterday I walked in there. What did they need? They needed copies. That was it. Okay, I did that. Boom. You know what I'm saying? It's just being accessible, being there for whoever, you know what I'm saying? And then I want to say not just serving, but taking the time when you can to just connect with people. Because I think that there's different ways of leadership or different types of leadership. And what I'm learning is when you take the time to connect with people and have conversation, and you can recall things because you actually care, at least about the conversation. If you don't know the person yet, man, it's amazing what happens after that.
Well, leadership is based on relationships. We can think anything we want, but at the end of the day, leadership is based on relationships. The relationships you have with the people who have chosen to follow you.
Yeah.
And maybe some other point. I'm going to do it someday. Talk about 5 levels of leadership. The 5 levels of leadership.
You definitely need it.
But past the first one, which is position, which basically means people follow you because you got a title.
Yeah.
But the thing about the title is the only thing that it can buy you is some time to establish the proper relationships and enter into real leadership. Every other stage is based on interacting, engaging, immersing yourself with people, man. People are our greatest resource, man. People, we can do, and you said we can do anything, especially when we join together, man, with one common mind and one common cause, and we can accomplish everything and anything. But, there needs to be a leader.
There's got to be a leader. There's got to be, if the leader's not the vigilant person, there's got to be somebody that's vigilant. There's got to be somebody that's going to protect. I'm talking about, but I'm just saying, like, detect people that are going to try to hinder you. Because I think, Fred, you told me.
You got to be on guard. You have to be on point.
That is essentially, I mean, that's a major percentage of my life right now, is just protecting what we, are fought to build, what we've been blessed with. And not saying I'm walking around like, oh, but it's any business owner. It's anybody that builds anything. It's anybody that has a family. It's anybody that has a child. Like, you just want to protect. And when you get people to buy into something, man, at that school, it's just different, man. When you walk in there, it feels like you walk into your house. That's what the students say. You walk in the lounge, one of them might be passed out on the couch. Because we rock like that. We're relaxed but structured. But when it's time to show up, we show up. Shout out to my students. We show up.
Understand, and I know you get it, but this is for, whoever else is out there, listening. People don't buy into the vision first. They don't buy into the school first. They don't buy into the program first. They buy into the leader first. And we need to get that. That's extremely important, that I can have the best of whatever it is. But if people have not bought into me, they're not going to, or they're going to be very hesitant of buying into what I'm presenting to them. People need leadership that's relatable. People need leadership that doesn't seem like leadership. You're not high-hatted. You're not high-browed. You're down to earth.
That's
relationship. So the root, and I said this 109 times, so this is 10. The root word of relationships is relate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Relationships are built upon finding points where you relate with people. Yeah. Points of commonality. And sometimes it's you jumping in the bathroom and cleaning the toilet.
Yeah. Hey, leadership is not easy. A lot of people want to lead, but when you start leading, you're like, oh, whoa, hold on. Because I've had plenty of moments where I was like, man, I just wish I operated in a different way, but I don't. It was just me saying that out of frustration in the moment. But, also you got to be willing to take the hits. You got to be willing to take none of the credit. If you're smart, you take a little credit, but you really don't take none at all.
No.
Then, you take any opportunity you have to make a decision and make sure it benefits everybody as a whole. It's a very selfless position. Often you do give time, and you gotta learn boundaries and all that, but you do give time and energy because even if you schedule, my phone goes on D&D at a certain time every day. But if something happens, something happens. There are certain people that can ring through something, and I don't have the privilege of when you open a business, you are corporate. You are you're everything. Yeah. So it's the same thing with a family. You get a wife, you get kids. Guess what? You're the husband, and you hear something go bump in the night. Guess what?
You better get out the bed.
Get out the bed and tell everybody stay in the bed, go hide or something. It just is what it is, man. But at the same time, it's rewarding. I really felt that, man. To bring it full circle, man. I really felt that it is rewarding, man, when you see, because I just say what I said at the top of the hour as we bring this on through. It has been rough, and I think for the leader, a true leader, that he finds peace when he hears his people laughing, or he sees them smiling, or he knows that they feel well. Thank you so much. And I think that's what it is, man. When you can sit back, at least for me, I was sitting totally separate every yesterday. They were just laughing, and they were just full of energy. And I was like, man, this is what it's about, you know?
Two things.
Mm-hmm.
There's this quote, and I'm thinking of it because when people are laughing and people's loads have been lightened, I believe it's because now they're seeing something differently. Or they're seeing something completely for the first time. And to talk about your school for a minute and the work you guys are doing, what it's doing is instilling a new sense of hope in people. I believe it's opening up doors of perception that people didn't have because they couldn't see their lives going in a certain direction. And also, I believe it's opening up their eyes to what they can do and who they can be. Staying on the topic of leadership, it said that a leader sees the good in his team, but then he helps them to see it in themselves.
Yeah.
So you guys are helping these people to see the greatness that's in them. And two, I want to piggyback on what you were talking about, how everybody wants to be a leader and woo, woo, woo. Yeah, you know why? Because you see the moments like that. You see the news interview.
You see me catching the hat on it.
You see you posing with the joint around your neck, But what you don't understand is, as a leader, as you grow in leadership, your responsibilities go up.
Can I say something?
Your rights go down.
Can I say something real quick and then let you? They see me catching the hat and bowing and everybody laughing. They don't know both of our guest speakers just disappeared. Last second, no call, nothing. But anyway, and a whole bunch of other stuff was going on, but my fault.
Nah. We tend to judge people on where we meet them, and we have no idea of where they've come from. So yeah, you see the hats and the balloons, but you just don't know of the dues that were paid to get to that point. So It's attractive, everybody wants to whatever. But believe me, it's not for the faint-hearted, and it's not for anyone who does not have a heart for people.
Yeah, you got to have a heart for people. Otherwise, it's going to end up sour.
But a legitimate heart for people, man, because some people really need effective leadership, man.
And if you care for people, man, if your heart's in the right place and you care for people, they will care for you back. And
yes, it will.
And I want to make sure everybody hears me. Put that in line with the statement: we're all here to be used, not misused. You know what I'm saying? We go extremely hard, and that's all I'm saying. What's in the school is in the school, but I can say this, and I know none of my students would have a problem with me saying this. All of my students are fighters. Man, you think you going through something. And I'm so proud of them, man. I'm sitting here, hey, eyes watery now, man. It's if y'all knew the behind the scenes, if you knew the times, because leadership, a lot of times.
Sabir.
Yeah, Sabir in the building, big broski. A lot of times in leadership, your people will, the people, I don't want to say your people like they belong, but the people that you're leading, they'll be discouraged in the season, right? And you might be discouraged too. But the thing is, you can't let them know it. You better find some motivate. You better go to prayer. You better whatever. And those are the moments that define you. When you feel at your lowest, know that everybody else is and you seeing people, some people abandoning shit, some people, whatever it is going on, and you still you see it through. And it might take some time. You're gonna endure some things. It just is what it is, man. But man, when the moments come, and because your heart was in the right place and you fought with right intention, and man, and that's all.
And the moments are going to come.
They're
going to come.
Most definitely.
Like you said, if you're dedicated, if you're persistent, if you're committed, if you have a plan, you've assembled a good team, you're going to have the moments. I have come to view everything from a farmer's concept. And in terms of that, everything I do is sowing seed. I'm sowing seed. And the farmer continually sows seed with the expectation of a harvest. It might happen. The only question is, to what degree am I going to harvest these seeds that I planted?
Yeah.
And he goes through droughts, he goes through pestilence, he goes through all of that, but still rejoices and still is keeping his eye on the day of harvest. And this is what our lives are like. You're gonna reap, man. You sow, you're going to reap.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure you're sowing.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
All that is depositing. Deposit. You got to make deposits, but you don't go to the bank, open up an account, and come back, take all the money out, and come back 2 days later having put nothing in and ask for there's nothing in there.
We gotta move. We gotta move right. We gotta move. Because I said this to somebody one time, former staff member. I said this is a great way to illustrate leadership. I think. I said, hey, it was a conversation that needed to be had, right? I said, hey, when you leave, you get to turn the light off and close the door and go home. I say, but while you're gone, I still have to think about ways to keep the lights on or make sure that the lights stay on. So when you come back in the morning, you can turn them back on. And that's the difference between, or I guess a great way for me to illustrate leadership. It is a process. It's something that takes a lot of thought. And you do endure, and you got to strategize, and you got to be able to adjust, and you got to be able to accept the fact that blows are going to come, which I had to learn a lot about this year. And you just got to make the right moves to the best of your ability. You got to understand you're not always going to make the best decisions, or I'm going to say you're going to feel like you do, but sometimes you're going to mess up, because a lot of time, if you're black or brown, you're probably a first generation entrepreneur in your family. And there's probably nobody else that's doing what you've done directly, and nobody that can give you a blueprint. But it's going to be okay, because you're going to learn some lessons through leadership. You're not going to get discouraged. You're going to push forward, and you're going to be better off for it. But I want to say this. Thought we was going in it, but I got to touch on this, Fred. You done revved it back up, because just as important as a leadership, you mentioned team. I got a great team. Miss Laura is a general. Miss Lisa. I got 3 executive directors on the floor at all times. I'm underqualified. You know what I'm saying? My wife, Miss Lisa, Miss Laura, these are people that literally, they're all directors. They're just in different positions now, right? But what I think is important about them, with the obvious, my wife, she's somebody, I can lean on. I can, when I'm in certain moments, go to. That's my heart. But what I learned about leadership is you have to have the right people around you. You have to have the right team. You have to have support. You have to have people that are going to maintain or implement the vision and take care of the people with you. And I want to speak to Miss Laura. When she came on, she a little bit older than all of us, but she's got that maternal instinct. She's like auntie, grandma. She just got that vibe, man. She's still lively. She's vigilant. She watches over everybody. You know, she just brings this vibe, her heart. Miss Lisa the same, man. And what I seen was the environment transformed and it became easier for everybody, even for me, when the hard moments come, because whatever you do, there's going to be a hard moment that comes. But when you have the right team, a hard moment becomes easier, because now I can come with the problem of my team and, hey, how do you do this? And because we're all on the same page, because all of us, our hearts in the same place, we're able to make good decisions. We can brainstorm. We can have conversations without conflict, and we can move better forward in the midst of adversity. How important is team? How important is support? How important is it? Because I look at it two ways too. It's not just adding pieces to your team. It's also being able to let go of certain pieces that are on your team and knowing, you know, you got to move away or come closer to. But what's your take on that?
Well, you make a good point about it's not just about adding, it's also about deleting. You know, on any team, you know, sports team, we know they have cuts. You know, everybody doesn't make the team. People get cut. Yeah. And a lot of times a person can get cut and find a home somewhere else. You just weren't a good fit here. And you got to be able to identify good fits.
Yeah.
You have to be able to identify where someone is talented at. You have to be able to identify and delegate appropriately. Anyone who's striving to move forward and to be at the helm of a team of people, you have to know how to delegate. You cannot move in with the mindset that you're going to do every you'll burn out. So identification of skill sets and skills, talents and capabilities, and then the ability to delegate the proper tasks to people. And you'll find out, boy, you will add years to your life as well as to the life of your business or enterprise.
Bruh, you see this, y'all? This whole thing, I got whites all through. I can tell you I did not have none of the. I had some of this, but I can tell you this is a whole lot whiter now. And I learned it. Everything he's saying, because if you don't pick the right team, even if you don't want to be, I hate micromanagers. I despise it. I like the team that I can just be like blah, or don't even have to say blah, and it just be on autopilot. Like, I don't make any decisions. I'll make a suggestion, or not even that. There'll be a problem, and I'll be like, hey, Miss Laura, what do you think we should do with such and such? And she'll be like, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, that's what we're doing. Like, it's that easy, right? And if you don't pick the right team, man, you're gonna be burning. You're gonna be micromanaged. You're gonna be checking behind people. You're gonna be freaking out. You're gonna be wondering if they're gonna leave you. It's just a lot of stuff, man. So make sure. And as one brother said, I think I might have said it if I didn't say it, because I've been saying it a few times a day. Because I think it was you told me again. It's easy to get into a situation with a person, but it's hard to get out of one. And that's facts. You know, I learned that back in 2003. When I got in that car, woo! I'm glad I can. Yeah, but anyways,
my whole right side just froze up.
Bro, when I would listen, this is what people don't understand. Like, it depends, right? Like I'm ready to go there and talk about everything, as I encourage everybody to do, right? But man, Sawyer Bucksy, she's a real investigative reporter, journalist. Like, I've never sat. I'm sitting down, and shout out to the podcast host, shout out to the TV host I've already sat with. I'm definitely not saying y'all aren't fly either, but I'm just saying y'all know what I know, man. This lady on the news, right? And let me tell you something, man. I'm the question she was asking, I started sweating, but she didn't ask for wrong. She asked with good. It was a total positive vibe, but it was just. That's what we're here for. And man, I thought I had prison traumatic stress disorder yesterday, man. I started sweating and everything, man. But anyway, great.
Not the ex-con, not
man. I was sitting there, but again, rewarding experience. So grateful, man. I wish he would shoot my documentary, because I feel like it's hard to find people that just let you be you behind the camera. I feel like I'm learning.
Hey, yo, on a, it's not a side note, actually it's a segue, but I used to work for this spot out here, right? So when I came home, I went back there, and the brother, man, I can't remember the brother's name, man, but he got pardoned after like 23 years. But they're doing a documentary on him.
Fire.
And when you were talking about your thing, I was thinking, if you don't have somebody, I'll connect you with these people, because they found a producer and a director and all of this stuff for this guy. Man, I can't remember the brothers. Is it Travis?
Can you connect to him?
I can call these people tomorrow. Not him, but I can call the place where he works at, because he works there. That's how they started doing the documentary on him. He started working there. He told the story. They said, "Joe, like yourself, people got to hear this." So, the dude showed me the trailer. It was a fantastic piece of work.
Somebody told me I need to like start emailing the news clip to certain people, but I just don't have enough time, energy, and effort right now. But that's probably a good idea, honestly. Which I might set some time up, but I would love to connect. I've been getting a couple calls, and I like to get a couple more calls. I like to see, just
you will.
Yeah.
But real quick, man called Saraf. That's a great point, man. I have adopted that policy, man. I am completely open about where I've been and how long I've been there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times I've led with that. Hey, listen, man, I need to let y'all know I'm just getting home. I don't know what's going on. So I appreciate y'all just have some patience with me. And man, it goes a long way.
I think it takes the awkwardness out of it. And then what we often don't take into consideration is just about everybody knows somebody that was locked up if they have time and caught themselves.
This isn't the 70s or the 60s where it really wasn't that common. Now it's a fairly common occurrence. Somebody's locked up.
Right. Most definitely. That's what I'm learning. Again, and shout out to my students. Just shout out to everybody, Last and Layers Beauty Institute, and everybody else in the world. But I was like, man, they're going to 17 years, and they didn't care. They only cared about how they're going to look on camera and stuff that other people think about. I was thinking about all the wrong stuff, man. So shout out to them. And it's a different time too. Unfortunately, the United States leads the world in incarceration. So the percentage of people that have been impacted by incarceration is definitely a high one.
Yeah, 6 degrees of separation. You know somebody who knows somebody who's been locked up or is locked up.
Definitely. Final words, Freddie, on this wonderful Thursday.
You can't move into a new situation with an old mentality. Whatever it is that's lying ahead of us.
Facts. I love that.
We really need to examine our thought processes, because your talent can take you somewhere that your character can't keep you.
Yeah.
You could be skilled. You can have great ideas. You can have all that and get somewhere. And our old mentalities and our old behaviors and old thought processes kick us right out of it. People don't need to fire you. Ain't nobody telling on us. We're just acting like buffoons sometimes. So let's just examine our thought process. We're moving into new seasons. We're moving into new environments, new opportunities.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we've got a fresh mindset, fresh perspective. We're perceiving things freshly. And this ties into the stereotype thing, not overly stereotyping anything so that we're limiting our perception and locking ourselves out of opportunity.
And you say that one more time. You can't move into a new
situation with an old mentality.
Yeah.
We've got to evolve constantly in our thinking.
That's a perfect illustration of what I'm working on right now. I don't want to, I never would tell anybody I'm not battling or fighting or whatever different things or working on myself. I'm always going to be a work in progress. But I think that's the one thing I want to keep evolving just mentally, emotionally, spiritually, even physically. I'm back on my health kick because for me, I've always been able, for whatever reason, any situation, scenario I've been in, I can honestly say I found a reason to succeed. But I've also lost plenty of opportunities because of my attitude, because of arrogance, temper, ego, pride, all those things that I used to have at level 100. So that's something I'm really, really working on, staying in prayer. But staying humble is easier because I'm about to be 40. There's more on the table. I'm married, and there's more at stake. And I feel like when you fight and you got more at stake, it's easier to make the right decisions. Because I'm not trying to be one. Because you hit it on the head, man. I've seen a lot of people. We see it in the industry and whatever. We see people fall from grace, as they say. I'm not trying to be that.
And fall hard too.
Yeah, I'm not trying to lose my marriage. I'm not trying to lose my business, my life, none of that.
I'm not trying to lose anything that I wasn't meant to lose.
Yeah, anything that I wasn't meant to lose. That's the best way to say it. That was a good piece. My final word, man. You're only a leader when you get other leaders to follow you. I think Jada Kid said that. I'm a firm believer. I honestly say in this season, and I hope, I don't know, I'm just wearing it more. I didn't wear leader. I don't know. I'm just wearing it different now, man. But at the same time, I'm wearing it because I feel I fought to earn a certain position. But I just want everybody to know, like, every single person with me is a leader. Like, it really is a round table situation. It's day by day, it's circumstance by circumstance. It could be minute by minute. With me and my guys right here, me and Freddie, or me and my brother, or whoever it is, depending on the situation, circumstance, I might lead. But guess what? Depending on the next 3 situations, they might lead. And that's why you're only a leader when you get other leaders to follow you. Your hand's going to be hot. Some people's hands stay hot forever. I can't negate that. I've seen that. You see it. But a lot of times they don't. Sometimes people go through seasons. So when your hand cools off, you better hope your brother's is hot. So that you don't ever get it confused. Anytime you see me or speak on leadership, and I can say that for any of my brothers, we say it in the most humble of ways. And we do understand, I know for a fact, man, whether it's with the school or what, I got people that are, man, bright. They're just visionaries. There's a reason I'm connecting to these people, because there's something I admire in them or something, you know what I mean? And I'm just grateful, man. That's it. Because my perspective was different when it came to leadership before, because I was feeding in the stereotypes. Yeah. We'll bring that together at the end like that.
You brought that all the way home.
Yeah, bring it all the way home. This was another freestyle session by Freddie. Hey, spoiler alert, I never pick a title until 30 seconds before I get up here with Freddie. Most days, it's not because I'm lazy or not putting forth effort. I really am an organic individual. I'm responding to several questions when people ask, how do I come up with my content? I don't. I go off what I feel. I go off conversation. I go off what I see. Sometimes I've been trying to get this guy to give me a topic for 17 years. He's probably never going to do it. It's cool.
Hey, before I met him, he was trying to get me to
I'm just learning to accept things in this season. And I want to know who your friends are and know how they operate in the lanes that they are great in, and appreciate them in their lanes. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Golly.
Don't try to put them in a lane that's not theirs.
Jeez. All right, man. Golly, man. Hey, that being said, it's 2023.
Yeah, peace and love.
Yeah, peace, love, positivity to everybody. Again, shout out to everybody. If I forgot anybody, man, charge it to my mind, not my heart. Appreciate you all. I'm gonna finish this cup of coffee, and I'm gonna kick my feet up because I'm tired.
I'm getting ready to go eat. I was cooking. I finished 5 minutes before the show started. So,
so anyways, like I was saying,
everybody else is full.
We're gonna tap into the 7 psyches of evolution right now for the next. I'm gonna holler at you, bro. Go eat,
Oh,
man.
8 grief. Oh, hey, I love you, man.
Love you too, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you
Thank
as always,
you.
man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, your wife, all the great work you and April are doing, man. We love and appreciate y'all.
Yep. And salute to all the viewers, man. Peace, positivity, and progress and progression and everything else that starts with a P for the letter. We out.